You need to meet your representative. So if you haven't had a chance to find them, we'll discuss on how to find your representative. And on previous calls, I always will tell you how to find your rep and your senator, and you get to know them. It's not so much as who you know, but it's that they know you well enough that when things are coming up, they have you on top of mind when we think about laws and legislation that's being passed. So your voice matters. As I like to tell you, it's the people's house. And if you are the people, then thank you for coming home. Please mute your phone. There we go. Thanks. If you're the people, then welcome home. So this day is about you. It's a day that's going to move very fast. First thing you'll need, I'm going to talk about logistics wise. You'll need to have your driver's license to get into the Capitol. The Capitol is located at 206 Washington Street. There are parking around that area. Am I breaking up? Someone saying? Okay. It's 206 Washington Street. The building across the Capitol is called the Coverdell Legislative Office Building, or we refer to it as CLOB, C-L-O-B. And that's where a lot of your legislative offices are. So where your senators and your House representative offices are on that side of the street. You're going to meet in the CLOB in room 510. And that's where I'll meet you. And then we'll walk across the street to the Capitol. Again, the line has been long in the morning, so be prepared to stay out. And if it's a large group, I'm going to try to take you in the other side. Once we get into the Capitol, we'll take a group picture, and then you'll go into the gallery. And throughout the morning when we're in the CLOB building, I'll have other legislators come in and speak with you. You'll have a chance to talk to other legislators, hear what we do, hear the flow of day, ask questions. It would be very, very helpful if you know the name of your legislator to give it to Antoinette or Mary so that I can contact them and let them know that you're coming down.
Webinar, they going over what we need to do when we, hold on.
Okay. Also, we will show you in that session, there are two sheets. There's a yellow sheet there's a yellow sheet and a white sheet. And what those sheets are, well, really what we call call-out sheets. And to reach your legislator, and it's really simple. It's not overwhelming. I don't want to overwhelm you, but really, it's a sheet that you fill out with your name on it. You'll put your legislator's name on it, and then you'll take it to the page desk, which is on the 4th floor, where you will be actually sitting in the galleries. The galleries are the level above. So it's like the balcony. And you'll take them, and then when you come down to the 3rd floor, you'll give them to the page, and the page will call out your legislators to the ropes. The ropes are sectioned off on the 3rd floor, and that's where we come out, the legislators come out to talk to you. So you'll say, you'll put your name, you'll say, I'm Antoinette Ball, I'm here, I'm your constituent. They have boxes that you check. I'm your constituent, and I'd like to talk to you or introduce myself, or if you have a business name, or say, I want to talk to you about, and you put your business name. Or you just can put, I'd like to meet you as your constituent. I'm here meeting you. I'm with women in business today, would like to meet you. I'm going to make an announcement from the floor of the House floor to acknowledge you, and you're going to stand up, and we're going to rah-rah and salute you and cheer for all of you to be down there. Okay. And so we'll take a group picture on the steps.
Representative Schofield, I do have a name of people that had confirmed to come to the in the morning. We're meeting in club from like 8 o'clock to about 9:15. And Rachel from Small Business Majority confirmed Senator Steve Gooch.
Okay. Gooch. His name is Gooch.
Senator Sonia Halpern.
Okay.
Also confirmed Representative Marvin Lim, Representative Michelle Ah, and
Ow.
yeah, and Representative Mandisha Thomas.
Okay, Mandisha. Okay.
They're going to be joining us that morning. So,
Okay.
so we're hoping that everybody, if everybody is in club from 8 o'clock to about 9:15 before we actually walk over, then we're going to make sure that everybody has instructions on where we want to meet. Rachel recommended that when we walk over to the Capitol, there's, I think it's in the North Atrium, that there's an area that is not as congested as the other area. So for everybody coming at 8 o'clock to that time frame, we will have specific instructions for them.
Okay, that is good. So
Okay.
let me just tell you on the senators, and they have an 8 o'clock standing meeting, so they may not make it over there. So
Okay.
it may be good that if we can get over to the Capitol by 9:15, we can meet them there in the North Atrium, North Wing, we call it. That's fine.
Okay.
But while you're in club, I will have other people that are coming through as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that's good. So when you come into the Capitol and you go through security, you'll the elevators, you can go straight around. The elevators are on the back. You're going to take them to the second floor. Okay. You can walk up the stairs, one flight to the upstairs. When you come in, you'll make a right there. As soon as you pass the security station, make a right and go up the stairs. For those that can write.
So when we leave club at about 9:15, are there stairs to walk down, or do we all have to take the elevator?
You have to take the elevator. You'll be on the 5th floor. You'll take the elevator back down to 2. Okay. You'll get off and you walk down the stairs across the street.
Okay, because I'm thinking about if we give everybody time. So if our group is really big, we give everybody time to come down. So we have those instructions. Yeah. Our group, everybody kind of arrives between 8 and 9, gets there before we leave that particular room. If they come to the room after we leave, then maybe we can leave signs or something. I don't know.
Yes. You probably post signs. That's Wednesday. My staff doesn't get in till later that morning because I would leave somebody there. But I will have somebody that will help you navigate to get across the street. Summer will be there to help you.
We're going on March 5th.
Mm-hmm.
You said Wednesday. That's Tuesday.
I'm sorry. No. It's my date. I got the date. I'm there. She's not. My other girl is not there. Doesn't come in on Tuesdays.
Okay, great.
But Summer will be there.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Welcome home to your birthday. We're having a big celebration for you, Miss Evans, on your birthday. Yeah. Any other questions? So the whole goal for you guys is to see how decisions are being made. Just pay attention to who's in the room, who is when we talk about the bills that are being brought to the floor and what you're looking to hear. There's a first read. So those are bills that are being dropped and read for the first time and being assigned to a committee. And so things move very fast and very quickly. In the morning, we do we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. We have a pastor of the day, and then we move on to reading of the bills, and then we have morning orders where we do our announcements, and then we move on to doing bills. Again, because this is a fast-moving time, we may not get to bills until probably 11-ish, 11:30. But you'll see what goes on down the days. That's the time where you can, while we're doing all of these things, you can come down and call out your legislators, or you can wait till after I've done the morning order and recognize you to come down and start having conversations with your legislator. Questions?
I have a question because I know there's a House and Senate side.
Yes.
And regarding that, can we select, because also, are we getting a proclamation that morning?
Well, yes, I have your resolution that morning. However, I mean, I have it. We can't read it on the floor. You know, we don't have that. What I will say on the floor is I'll mention that you have a resolution and that you're there and that all of you will stand up. Now, there are two chambers, again, the House side and the Senate side. You can decide which side you go over to. We pretty much will start. Hopefully, we don't have control over when they start. We start at 10 o'clock. I don't know what time they'll start, but I'm believing that they're going to start at 10. And so both chambers work simultaneously, and usually their flow of the day.
Okay, so basically, you are in the you're in the House, right?
Mm-hmm. House has 180 members. We tend to have a little bit more activity and move faster. And the Senate does a little bit more structure, I would say. But the House is more fun, if you ask me.
Okay. Okay, so we could all basically go to the House side if we wanted to.
Yeah, you could all go to the House side if you want to. But if some want a different experience, I always like to say some go to the Senate sides to see if there was some comparisons or some differences that you notice. Is there a bag policy? You don't have to come in with a clear bag, but just scale it down a little bit. You don't need a lot of stuff there.
Okay, I had somebody ask a question. They said, should we plan to meet by 7:45 at the Capitol in order to be ready for the club at 8 a.m.? No, we're not meeting. We're meeting at the club first.
You're at the club.
Yeah, we're at the cover that, and that is when we're saying the club. That basically is the Coverdale Legislation Building. And
yes.
what we're doing is our group is meeting there first at 8 o'clock a.m. So we will be at in a room, which is room 510, from 8 o'clock to about 9:15. So when you come up the elevator, we should have somebody situated right outside the elevator to direct you. So we are meeting there first. So do not go to the Capitol. Is the Capitol open that early anyway?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Hey, do not go to the Capitol. We want our entire group so we can coordinate everything and give you specific instructions at the club. So we will be there in session from 8 o'clock to about 9:15. At about 9:15, we're going to start walking over to get through security and to get to the location where we're going to be taking pictures. So if you get there early, that's fine, but we will be there. We're making a point to be there. Also, somebody asked about, it seems like there's a lot of walking and some security we have to get through. So if you can
so wear comfortable clothing, comfortable shoes, because again, you won't be standing outside that early. There's been a line. There's been a lot of people that have been coming to the Capitol, so I can't tell you that you won't be standing in a line to get in. But there just may be coming into the Capitol a little bit of time that you have to stand, and then you'll stand a little bit to take the picture, and then the rest of it is you're walking through and going upstairs and sit down. So it's not. I wear the club, the CLOB, the Coverdale Legislative Office Building. We just call it the club. That's just where the offices are. The Capitol is where your business is. Yeah, there is a cost for parking. I believe it's $10. Don't hold me to that. There's parking across the street on Capitol Avenue if you're coming up, but there's also a block away some parking. And Antoinette, you can get Marjorie to send you the list of parking or the map for where the parking is around there.
Yeah, because everybody on the list, we actually sent them like a parking map.
Okay.
They have the map. And we did send it out for the people that were on our list that actually registered. And can you please mute whoever? I can't see it. I can't. So we actually sent it out for people that are registered to attend the event.
Okay. And I mean there's a lot of movement. So there are a lot of people gonna be there that day. I think you're coming early, but by the time you come back over to the Capitol, you'll start to see the crowd starts to build up a little bit.
What time does it start getting actually crowded?
Probably between 8:30 on up, depending on the day. We don't have a schedule for Tuesday. I will be at the Capitol already because Tuesday is Bible study at 7 o'clock. So I'm there at 7 o'clock for Bible study.
Okay. Okay, so coming early is a good idea because we can kind of bypass a little bit of the crowd before the session starts.
Yeah, but you can't. don't think you can get in the club in the room until 8 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're setting up little snacks for the group, so she's gonna try to get in a little early.
Okay, so yeah,
You're doing a delivery.
it's really not. I don't want to make it seem like it's stressful, and it really isn't. It's the address to the Capitol is 206 Washington Street. There's only one way that you can come in that main entrance. Club building is right across the street. So when you come down, I think that's Washington Street. There's the barriers. You really won't need to come up Capitol on the other side. Yeah. Any other questions? Well, so when you talk to your legislator, let me give you a little tip. This is not the let me take my hour, because we only have a few seconds. You're not the only group that is calling us out. So what happens is when people send those white sheets, when the pages, they're teenagers that volunteer, that come in and give us the sheet that says, hey, you have a constituent out here, someone would like to talk to you. And we come out and talk to you. That's the point, that you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Bertina Banks. I live in your district. I have a business. I'm here at the Capitol. Today is Women's Entrepreneurial Opportunity Day. We're here talking about some of the women businesses. My business is located in your district, or I live in your district. And I would love to set some time to talk to you. You could give them your elevator pitch at that point, or you can say, hey, I'd love to sit down and talk with you about some of the opportunities and how we can help our constituent, help our what is it, county, city, our state, whatever. You give your elevator pitch. What is it about them that's going to make you stand out to them? Now, there's a lot of noise in the hallway. So again, there are a lot of groups that are up there. So you have a 15-second window. If you hear the bell ringing, that means we have to go back and vote. So sometimes we may not be able to come out, even when you send the message in. Give us a minute to come out, because we may be voting on bills and we may not be able. It means that someone is down in the area in the front called the well presenting their bill, and we have to hear what they're presenting on, so that we know how to vote for the bill. What's the bill about? We may need to talk to our colleagues in the so we may not come out at the minute they send the page in, but we may be able to come out as soon as we get an opportunity. The other thing is, if you do have one pager or some information on your business, it would be good to hand them that information. If you have something that you want if you have something for your business, it is appropriate to hand it to them. It is also appropriate, if you want to find out, and I'm going to put it in the chat, where their office is, to find out where your legislator is. You can look at www.legis.ga.gov. That's how you find out who your legislator is. That's how you find out what bills are being read. You can go online and see what the events of the day are, and write in that on that website. But if you find where their office is and you don't get a chance to meet your legislator, my suggestion is you go to their office in the Club building, or some may be in the Capitol, but go to their office and meet their admin, because the admin is also going to be your gatekeeper that gets you in. Get you in to see them. They may tell you, oh, well, we're going to break at 12 o'clock. Sit tight. They're coming back to their office, and you'll have a chance to meet with them. Most of us are pretty. If we know that, we know that you are there, we try to come out and speak with everybody that we can. So we look forward to knowing that you're going to be there. Any other questions for me? You're going to have a great experience. Just show of hands, how many of you have never been, this will be your first time at the Capitol? Oh, wow. Great, great. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay. This is great. And for those that have been there before, help your colleagues.
Yeah, yeah. I know you mentioned something about the good, the bad, the ugly bills.
Right.
I mentioned so basically for some of the independent filmmakers, that new bill is kind of a deterrent because I know quite a few independent filmmakers here in Georgia.
Yeah, it's a bad bill. But the good thing is sometimes when you have bad bills like that, it's an opportunity for them to go to the Senate and they work on improving certain things that we had concerns over in the Senate. So that's what we're hoping to do, that they can make some amendments in the Senate and see what happens over there. If there are changes, then we pass a bill out. And if there are changes that happen in the Senate, then it has to come back over and be voted again in the House. So that's any bills. So we do have, some good bills that have come out. I'm trying to see, I can give you some of the bills that we passed.
Especially things that are related to business and also could you encourage everybody, like even after their visit to the state capitol, how they can get involved with committees?
Yeah, yes. So the important thing is the chairman of the Small Business Committee, his name is Mike Chokis, CH, and I'm gonna put that in the thing. Y'all want to talk to him because he's Chairman Chokis. I'm gonna put it in here. You want to talk to him because in the very beginning of session, I went to him and asked him, could I have WEOP and some other women-owned businesses, especially my small businesses, minority-owned, come talk to our committee. And I sent him exactly what he needs, and I'm still waiting to hear from him. And so I think if he hears from y'all, and you go and call him out and say, hey, we came down to the Capitol. We'd love an opportunity to talk to members of your committee to let them know, about our businesses and some of the challenges for small business, women-owned businesses, or some of the ways that we can be a benefit, instead of saying challenges, be a benefit to the state as a small business, as a women-owned business. Maybe that's the way you want to frame it. But at least, Antoinette, you make sure you introduce yourself to him as well. Okay, I'm trying to find. We did.
You use the term "call him out." So basically, you're saying that after this.
Yeah, that's filling out that form. I'm sorry, that's filling out that form and calling him asking him to come to the ropes. You would like to meet him. So you can go and say, hey, I bought a group of women-owned businesses. We would love the opportunity to come talk to the committee. This is women-owned. You can say that it's Women History Month, and we're here. We bought some amazing women that are doing amazing things for the state, and we'd love the chance to talk to the committee. Here we go. Here's the column. Here are the bills some of the bills that we passed.
And can you provide some online resources so they can do their research before they come next week?
Well, okay. His name is, if you go to, I put the link in there, www.legis.ga.gov, and his name is Chairman, or is Mike Chokis. He's with the Small Business Committee. That's what he oversees. And so anybody, if you look up on the website and go to committees and you look up under the Small Business Committee, any one of those members that are on the committee, anybody can call them out. When anybody can request and fill out that sign or that little slip and meet with them. Just ask them to come out and introduce yourselves. because everybody that's on the committee, we can still get to him and say, hey, you know what? We met a group of wonderful women that were down here today. We would love to have them come to the website is www.legis.ga.gov. I put it in the chat. But we would love to have them come down and talk to the committee. They bring in all different kinds of groups to talk to us, but they've never, ever, ever brought minority women to come talk to us.
Wow. Okay.
And I submitted it very early, the first week that we got there.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying it might be helpful if you, when you get to the ropes, when you guys come down, and you can come separately or something, maybe you and I will make sure that you speak to him directly, Antoinette. But each one of y'all, I would say, a couple of y'all go to him, make sure y'all call him to the ropes and introduce yourself and ask for us to be able to bring y'all down and talk to the committee.
A question, when you say the ropes, so the session starts at 10 a.m., right? So when the session starts, they actually start convening and talking about the bills. At the ropes, can we ask them to come to the ropes?
No. So when the session starts, you need to be in the gallery by 10 a.m., really by 9:45-ish, after we take our picture. And then you'll go to the gallery, you'll sit in your seat. Some will go to the House, some will go to the Senate. And then we start, the doors will lock. When the speakers come in, the doors lock.
And what time is the doors like at 10 a.m. exactly?
10 a.m. As soon as the speaker comes in, usually by 10:05, they lock. Okay. And then that's when we start with our pastor of the day. We do prayer. We do our pastor of the day prayer and our pledge of allegiance. And then they will unlock the doors. You don't want to call us out then, because then we start to do our reading the bills for the first time. And then we do our morning orders where we'll recognize you. Once we recognize you, then you can come downstairs and start calling us out. You can start, I would say, while you're up there, the page desk should be right outside of the door where you're going into the gallery. When you're going into the balcony, we call it the gallery. You'll grab some of those when you're coming in. We'll make sure you have all of that stuff. I'll bring some over that morning. You could probably fill them out while you're in the meeting in Club. I'll make sure that you have them so that you'll have them already filled out to who you want to go see. And then you give them back to the page desk. You'll go down to the 3rd floor and they'll start telling you, calling us to come outside and talk to you.
Somebody asked, can you take pics and videos on the inside?
No, absolutely. You cannot take pictures or videos. You cannot bring anything but water inside the gallery.
Because I saw something where Killer Mike yesterday got some kind of resolution, and he actually, I don't know how he got that picture, but he took a picture like on the inside.
He probably went to the Senate.
Okay.
The Senate can do pictures on their steps on the inside, based on pre-approval. Now, every so often we can do what we call an invite resolution, where you can bring people to the House floor. That is at the discretion of the speaker.
So once we take our pictures on the Capitol outside at the stairs, absolutely no pictures or videos on the inside.
You can't take them in the gallery, but you can take pictures anytime in the Capitol. So if you're in the Capitol, y'all want to grab pictures standing with each other anywhere in the Capitol, that's fine. As long as you don't go into the gallery where you're seated, you can't take pictures in there. You can't take pictures over the gallery and on where we're on the House floor. You can't take pictures there.
So somebody asked, do we leave our cell phones in our cars since phones are
No. Because you want to take pictures as you're walking through. You may see a senator, a person that you want to get pictures. You can take pictures all inside the Capitol, just not in the chambers, not in the gallery, the balcony, or not on the floor.
Okay, so you can take your phones in as long as you have your phones off and not taking pictures.
Yeah. But yeah, when you're inside, when you're sitting down, let's say it that way. When you're in the Capitol in the Club building, you can take pictures there anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the you can take pictures before you get inside when you get in the building of the Capitol, you can take pictures. But when you get between those doors where you're sitting in the seat in the chambers and you're looking over, you can't take pictures there. I see Sonia or Sonia.
Hey, Sonia, you have a question?
Yes, I get what you're saying, but I'm just trying to figure out when you saying we can take pictures on the outside, but when we get inside the Capitol, are we leaving our purses somewhere? Because you said we can only take water.
No, you can bring your purse anywhere you can. You can bring water inside the gallery when you're sitting down. You just can't bring soda or coffee in there. Okay. You can bring water, a bottle of water in there. You can bring your phone in there. You just can't take it out and be recording or taking pictures when we're on the House floor.
Now, if they and if you do, what happens? Somebody arrest you or something, or
no, you won't get arrested. They'll come and tell you to just turn it off. You can't take pictures.
Okay, cool. Okay.
That's all. They'll tell you. They'll just say, please don't take pictures up in here. You can't take pictures. That's all.
And Representative Schofield, let us know what kind of work you're involved in, so everybody can kind of know what you're doing.
So, so right now, again, all of the bills. So I work on environmental health bills. I work on environmental justice bills. I have bills in healthcare. I am still working on the film bill that includes minority participation, and I've worked on criminal justice reform, some bills. So all of the bills that we had, unfortunately, none of my bills didn't get out this session. I didn't get hearings on our bills, and that's not new. That we don't necessarily, out of all of the bills that one side, and I'm in the minority party, so out of all of the bills that the minority, that the Democrats passed, we only had 6 that came out and got passed out of the House on Thursday, and that will go to be voted on the Senate. And then after they're voted on the Senate, then they go to we hope they make it to the governor's floor for passing. So I wrote probably 40 bills this session and didn't get one hearing on them. It's not new. Some of that is that they'll take some of the language in a bill that I've written and put it on and tack it on to their bill and put it in there and pass it. So now what I'm doing is looking to see what Senate bills that are coming over to the House, or that I can tack some language on. We call it Christmas tree. We call it an amendment to a bill. So I've got some of those bills. My small business bill was a racial impact bill. So it was basically looking at how does race factor into every piece of legislation that we do, whether it's minority participation, housing, what is the ramifications on that? But that didn't go anywhere. But for me, it's taken, when I got my first bill passed, it took 8 years to get my first bill passed. Last year, I got 4 bills passed. So, it's like this.
Right.
You keep pushing.
For anyone on the call who does not know who you are, could you get just a little bit of background about how you got into being the state representative, just so everybody kind of knows? I want them to know.
Sure.
And also, people who don't know about the Crown Act, if you could just share a little bit about that.
Thank you for reminding me. So I do work on the Crown Act. We did an amendment to the Crown Act because, and so before I say about the Crown Act, so I'm State Representative Kim Schofield. I was elected in 2017. I came to this space as a constituent, like many of you on the phone, and that's because in 2000 I was diagnosed with lupus. And as I was doing work in the field of lupus, after 8 years of doing advocacy in the community, I raising awareness, and I have started a support group in DeKalb County. I realized that we were not doing enough to educate legislators or policymakers on how do we get more resources and funding for people that are impacted and living with lupus. And so I made a decision to call everybody under the state capitol and say, I'm going to talk to them and find out what they know, what they don't know about lupus, and discovered that they didn't know much. So I came down and we started educating folks folks. I started bringing folks like you are doing, bringing more folks to talk about here are the impacts of what it's like to live with lupus. Here's the impacts of what it means to, as a small business in this state. Here's where we can do better. Here's where we're not doing better. And so as we did that, it took 8 years and I wasn't elected and I got my first bill passed. And it created a council, a governor's council on lupus education awareness that allowed us to get funding and resources. And so during that time, I started working on other legislative areas like the Family Care Act that allows you to use your sick time to care for a loved one or take a loved one to the doctor without losing pay. And so I started doing some other things like that, and then found out that, you know, legislators are people too. And so people do want the same things. You just had to figure out how to work with them. And so in 2017, my senator, Senator Nan Auroch, asked me, there was another seat that was being vacant because someone is running for a higher seat, asked me would I be interested in running. And that's how I ended up in this space. And so it's been very interesting, very, you would think that we all want the same things, but it's been very, it's just been an interesting space where we all want life, liberty, happiness, housing, and basic needs, but it's the way that we go around doing it. And it's a bloodbath. And you guys have stepped into the season where it's a bloodbath now. Mm. And so so I've had to learn a lot about a little about a lot of different things that I never thought I would have to know, but it has helped me as a person to know why I speak and fight and what the values are. And it's not so much as passing bills. The issue that I work on is stopping bad bills that you would never know that are going, how they would impact your quality of life. And so that's what I really do stake my claim on, is how do we stop from these folks killing us? How do we stop when they're taking all the healthcare resources and diverting them to rural Georgia? How are we not left with just crumbs? And these are things that people don't think that we have to look at, but everything is political. So whether you are a policymaker or not, somebody makes decisions for you every day on your quality of life. And what I want you to pay attention to is the people in the room, that when you go into the Capitol and you're overlooking that gallery, look at the ages, look at the gender, look at the race, look at all of those factors, are how these people are making decisions and who's making decisions for you, about you, without you sometimes.
That is so powerful.
And it's not just, you know, in the metro area, we always want to say, well, we're going to replace we're going to replace people or we'll vote them out. Guys, you can vote and just recycle people all day long. We're not always just the problem children. We need to get out of this metro area. And it's those people in the outlying markets that are holding up and stopping us from moving in alignment with people that share the values that we need to get things passed so that we can have an equitable system here.
Okay.
So,
and I want to see if anybody else has any comments, any questions, or anything you want to share. Okay, I have a Vanetta. Vanetta, how you doing? Vanetta, go ahead. You're.
Sorry about that. I was trying to come off mute. How are you doing? Hi, Ms. Ball. Hi, Representative Schofield. Thank you so much for having us all here today. So I'm with the Wealthy Group, and we are an illustrious group of realtors in and throughout Atlanta. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be with you guys and tour the state capitol on Tuesday. So one of our group members had a question. Can we go over again, when we're in the gallery, how that works in terms of talking to our state legislators and, you know, calling them out or introducing ourselves? Can you give us some examples of things we may want to bring to the table or how we present ourselves again?
Yeah, it's a simple, thank you for that question. The group of realtors were down there a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, a great group. And so when you come in there, when you come to the gallery, again, the gallery is just your balcony. You're just sitting there overlooking what we're doing. Then after I go down there and say what I recognize y'all, and y'all stand up and everybody's rah-rahing you, then y'all come on out, come to the third floor. You'll have your slips. I think you would have given them to the page desk, and you'll come down there. The ropes are just like, it just separates. It's just a separation. That's all. Because everybody, the hallway is so small. So we stand on this side, y'all stand on the other side. That's all that is. And so the kids the students bring in the little papers like this, and they put it on our desk, and I say, oh, okay, Miss Vanetta Anderson is here to see you, and she's from We Are Women. So I put my paper down, I come out there, and I'm like, hey, Vanetta. And there's so many people out there. I may come out there and start saying, Vanetta, you raise your hand. There may be, you may stand in front of the rope. I see you. I don't know. We find you. And so you'll say, hey, I'm Vanetta. I came down here. It's Women's History Month. I'm here with a group of I'm a constituent of yours. Or you may say, hey, I have a business in your district. And you just introduce yourself, and then you tell me what you want me to know about you. It's that simple. It's your elevator pitch. You'll find that we're just really, if you had a particular bill that you're advocating for, that's when you would talk about the bill. Hey, I'm here today to talk about SB 581 that is, going to help small businesses. And I'd like you to support that bill or oppose that bill. And here's the reason why. But if there is no bill that you're advocating for, and I will look at them and see if there's any bills, but there was no strong small business bills that I saw that I needed to bring to Antoinette's attention. And somebody else can always look that up as well. On, again, legis.ga.gov, go under laws and legislation. You can put in small business and see all the bills that come up under small business or tax or whatever your word is, and see if there are any bills that you want to talk to somebody about. So that's all you're doing, is giving a 15-second thing. We'll talk to you probably more, and then always ask, hey, can we take a picture? So that's why you want to bring your phone in. We take a picture at the ropes. We just turn around, you hold your camera up, take a selfie with so that you you can post it. Most of the time we'll ask you, can we take a picture with you? But if not, ask them to take a picture. Can I take a picture with you?
So that's great information too. So if there are, like, for instance, any bills on affordable housing or something like that, then we can kind of look on that side ahead of time so that we can determine if we'd like to speak on that.
Yes. And if you don't see a bill, but if that's an interest of yours, you can say, so where do you stand on affordable housing?
Okay.
You can ask us any question. So where do you stand about, equity in business? Where do you stand about, tax breaks for whatever? This is your time. It's your house. You're the people. You want to ask us the questions. So how do you feel? Or is there any legislation that you're aware of that gives better access to resources for small businesses?
I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
There's no question off the limit. This is your time. You're the people. You are the one, when you go into that voting booth, you push that button for that person. Even if you say nothing, but I just wanted to get to know you because you're a person that I vote for. And I wanted you to know me.
Okay. Now, does your district, one more question, does your district have the city of South Fulton as well?
I do. I have some of South Fulton as well. I have 1-2 streets in South Fulton, so I am South Fulton. So I would, I will meet all of y'all. So ain't nobody. If I'm your legislator, you don't have to call me out. Find somebody on another committee, because I'm your ally. You already got me in your back pocket. So don't waste your time there calling me. I'm good. We good. Call somebody, look up another committee person and call them on a small business or some other area that you're passionate about.
Absolutely.
It might not even be small business. You might be environment. You might be children's. It might be criminal justice. Just find out, somebody.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Vanetta's being modest. She's also interested in doing lobbying.
Yes, I'll be working with Ms. Ball on that as well.
Okay, and so
you as well, Legislator Schofield, Representative Schofield. Hopefully, I'll be working.
There are some lobbyists down there. Make sure I know that. I'll introduce you to a couple of lobbyists. Anybody that's interested in learning what a lobbyist does tomorrow, I've got some wonderful people, and I may even get them to come over to the group in the morning and come talk to y'all to explain what the different types of lobbying that are. They're just not a standard one size fits all. There are different types of lobbyists, and I'll get them to come over and talk to the group as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Representative Schofield, our purpose as an organization is to make sure that our women-owned businesses are civically engaged, and they understand that, even to the point where they're doing op-eds. They're just kind of in the pulse of what's going on. So that's one of the reasons. Can you recommend any other kind of further training? And it's something that you and I may collaborate on, so we can keep this momentum going, so we can keep everybody engaged with what's going on at the state capitol.
Yeah, listen, guys, there is no reason why we should not be engaged with Chat GPT. There ain't no reason why we should not be engaged. If there's a subject matter, for example, Vanetta said that she's interested in, I forgot what you just, housing and affordable housing. And Antoinette is saying, getting involved in op-eds. You can use Chat GPT, and we can do something on that and write op-eds on this, so that you start to become more comfortable and people start to hear your voice. Lobbying and putting questions on your legislators, your senators, your House representatives, your Congress people, asking them questions on their social media. What is your stance on this particular issue? How can we get more resources to small businesses in this particular? So to stay engaged means you're constantly asking them questions, constantly looking for resources, constantly asking them, did you know? Or how do I meet with you? Reaching out to their staffers, getting to call their office and set up a Zoom meeting with their staffers, so that the staffers know when they come into town, the Congress people may want to meet with you. Next time they're off season, asking some of your congressional people to do a Zoom call with us. These things are readily at your fingertips. If we don't hear from you, then we think everything is fine. And if you're constantly talking to each other and not reaching out to the people that give you an inroad, then you're really cutting yourself off. You're untapped potential. So whatever we need to do, and staying on top of mind, that's what we'll do.
Okay. I'm going to do one last round. I know it's Saturday morning. We're getting ready to get top of the hour. Just first of all, I want to thank you for your time in terms of getting up on a Saturday morning, having the call with us so we can get prep and ready for our trip to the state capitol on Tuesday. Wanted to know if anybody else had any questions or comments before we wrap up the call. We're all excited. And I wanted to further emphasize that we are going to meet in the club. And anybody on the call should have information about, we're meeting at 8:00 to about 9:15 before we go over to the state capitol and actually take pictures. So I was looking at the chat, wonderful, useful information. Thank you for the information. Anybody else want to say anything before we sign off? You have a great person here. I've enjoyed working with Representative Schofield for a period of years. She's really enlightened me on making sure that we are involved as an organization, and I look further to, we are doing some more extensive training sessions to keep our community of women engaged. Everybody saying thank you.
Oh, and thank you. That's the best part of my job. When y'all go down there and you see this is what it's going to seem like, pure chaos, but it's organized. And the fact that you show up is the biggest thing. I tell you, I have the power of the pen, but you have the power of the voice. And at this particular time in history, when we're losing everything, I don't know if you saw this morning, it's one of the universities, they took and voted off, took everything out on DEI now on university. Did you see that this morning?
Morning.
Yeah, it was in yep, University of Florida. Voted all of that stuff off now. And if you don't think they're not coming to Georgia to so we got to figure out a backdoor on how to keep this DEI stuff in and slip it in and not call it DEI, but use the word inclusive and other buzzwords. We got to figure out another way. We're smarter, we're better, we can get this done. We can get this done. And the last thing I will say, and I just have to put it out there, I understand this. If you haven't voted, we need you to go ahead and we're in the early voting season for the presidential candidates. So wherever your stance in, I know we're nonpartisan. You just have to go early vote now for your choice of candidate for president. So make sure.
One last thing, I don't think you mentioned the Crown Act, which I
tried. Oh, thank you. So the Crown Act is it's creating a respectable world for natural hair, and what that is, we know that there have been some real discrimination when it comes to people wearing their natural hair that comes out of their head in schools, in workplaces, and housing. So it's been really discriminatory practices. I dropped the Crown Act, probably this is my 4th year of trying to get it passed. They have made a commitment down there to say that bill will never pass here. And so what I have been doing, and if you'll notice that there have been cities and counties like Clayton, DeKalb, Fulton, Cobb has not passed it. Now Gwinnett has passed the Crown Act, and so we need help to get that. I just had to do an amendment to now include biracial people, so to include them for not being discriminated against, as opposed to just doing a class of people. So protected hairstyle. No, Douglas has not, and I've asked for help. I need help in Douglas to get this passed. We have the language and how that, and if you notice, the city of South Fulton, had they not passed it, we had a police officer who was made to cut their locks, and he actually cut his locks, and it was discriminatory. And if the city had not had, or if they had not had the Crown Act in place, he would not have been protected and being able to have some legal recourse on that. So, and it really does hurt our young men. Those are the ones that are getting targeted the most when we talk about locks and hair. I don't know if you saw last Friday night, it was on that show, I think it was Sunday night, What Would You Do? And they did a scenario where a woman was telling a Black woman that she needed, in order to get this job, she had to straighten her hair. And these practices should not be dictated on what you do. This comes out of my head. You're not hiring me for my hair. And if that's what the companies need, we just need to stand on our principle. I'm not telling anybody what your principle is, but the Crown Act is something that I am going to continue to push. So I know that Senator Tanya Anderson has one in the Senate that she's not getting a hearing on, and mine. We have to raise more awareness, again, with the voice of the people. I also, a bill that I pushed this year was to have the reproductive rights to go on as a amendment to the Constitution, a constitutional amendment to allow us the ability to vote, not on when we go on the ballot, for us to make the choice whether we want reproductive rights. They wouldn't even hear that. So another things, ladies, there's going to be a push where they're going to try to take off birth control, that you won't be allowed to get contraceptives. So, they're coming hard after reproductive rights. Is this our Jeffrey Turner, the commissioner? Yeah. Yep. I agree with with Jeffrey Turner.
No, I'm not the commissioner, but glad to meet you. Thank you for letting me be a part of the meeting too.
Absolutely. Thank you for your words. Yes.
Well, thank you.
How can we? Okay, so part of people. Okay.
So we're going to have to move to do another campaign, And the campaign has to be a more vocal and visible campaign, which means, you know, we did we're going to write the speaker and we're going to, you know, make calls to the governor. That's they don't buy that. You have to take this out into the street to kind of keep bringing attention to why this is necessary. And so that's what we're going to have to do. We need the sororities and everybody in the fraternities, because this is men, to stand up. We need working people to stand up. We need everybody, business owners, to stand up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know you want to begin.
Okay, I'll say another thing, because I'm going to prime your pump on this one, because ladies, y'all need to hear this really quickly.
Okay.
So, and I'm not going to drop it. I'm working on it now, but there is a real serious issue and a health concern that the issue has been raised with nail salons and the health and the safety of nail salons. And that is that when they're using those drills and they're cutting you and you're getting cut, that those things are not safe. And I absolutely stumbled upon this, and I've gotten more calls that there are people that are getting blood diseases, losing limbs because the nail salons are not regulated. There are only 10 inspectors in the state. So a lot of these places where you're going to get your nails done, they may have a business license, but the technicians that are doing your nails are not licensed. So please, 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 I'm working on it. This is going to be a big fight because there's mafia tied up in this, Asian mafia. And this is a very serious thing that I'm concerned about.
The Asian mafia is tied up into this.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So when people tell you about running for office, y'all, this ain't they just go and they making laws. This is a very serious, sometimes dangerous environment that we have to cross.
And not only that, with the nail salons, they say that those ultraviolet lights are hazardous in terms of cancer. That when and people saying that they're actually aging their hands. So those kind of things we don't really think about when it comes to our hands. So
when they're using that wax, they shouldn't be double dipping on that line to put it on your for your eyebrows. I've got some people that were burned, and you have the right to sue them.
Okay. So
we're going to talk about this later. Yeah, I know you've been cut. I'm hearing so many things, Crystal, that just makes me cry. And the bad thing is that when I bring out all this information, we'll still stop. We won't stop going, because I got to get my nails done right now. I don't know what to do.
I still do my own now.
So okay, we still have people covered in, but that's it. I'm just priming your pump to let you know some other things I'm working on.
Okay, we had a few people that came in, but we're getting ready to wind down the call.
I'll stay on as long as you need me to.
Okay, and I still want to be respectful of your time. I just wanted to see open-ended if anybody else had any questions. We did record the call, and we will put it up on WEOP's YouTube channel. We look forward to Tuesday. Okay, so Megan says she's in the School of Cosmetology and knew all of this. I just did not know how serious and how deep it gets. Okay. And we look forward to having continue this engaging conversation on Tuesday morning. And our hope is to keep having a series of these conversations at WEOP. So we can not only just do this one time, we can, do something monthly to talk about civic engagement and leadership and how some of our business owners can continue to get involved. But I wanted to know, we wanted to leave us with any words of wisdom.
Yeah, my words of wisdom are simply this, that, and I was watching something last night, leadership is it's not just about the opportunity to lead. It's about the calling that you accept, and you walk out that calling wherever you go. So it's not just a leadership is found, it's a calling that you're given, that you step into and you go. Somebody is always watching you, and you have the ability to make a difference wherever you go. Don't throw away your shot. Use your voice and use it loudly. You never know where it's going to take you.
Okay, so I'm going to again thank you for your time. We're excited, and we look forward to Tuesday. I have my email. If anybody has any questions, we encourage our group to make sure that everybody arrives from 8 o'clock, that gets there about 8:15, so we can continue the conversation, and we look forward to our trip. So with that, everybody's saying nice, thank you. So we'll see you on Tuesday, and thank you so much for supporting our group. So we're gonna sign off.